So I'm not going to kid you and pretend that I'm a great Wilfred Benitez fan. I know about him because of that fight that he had with Sugar Ray Leonard, particularly the face-off. It's one of those classic images that you get with boxing. I also know about him because he happens to be heralded as one of the youngest, if not the youngest, champions in boxing, in contemporary boxing, having become a champion at the age of 17. He's also, in my books, I tend to hold him in a certain amount of regard for the fact that he beat Roberto Duran. A lot of people have a great deal of respect for Roberto Duran, but I respect Roberto Duran, but I don't elevate him to the extent that a lot of people do. And I think that the win that Wilfredo Benitez had over Roberto Duran and Roberto Duran's attitude after the win reflects the reason why I just did not like Roberto Duran. I didn't like his style of fighting. I didn't like his whole approach and attitude, and I thought he got away with it simply because when you have the four kings, he was somewhat of a minority amongst them. Yes, he was a great fighter. Yes, they tend to sort of always talk about his accomplishments at lightweight amongst people that never really get mentioned, something akin to what you get nowadays with the kind of criticism that they level at another guy who's supposedly undisputed and then moved up to welterweight, whose name we shan't get into that. But you get a lot of people, and I'm not even sure that people have actually done a comprehensive take of what he supposedly did at lightweight. We're just told that he accomplished these great things at lightweight, and that's it. Nobody bothers to really talk about his opponents because, and here's the thing, one of his most substantial, significant wins at lightweight was against, I believe, Ken Buchanan, and even that was controversial. Even that was regarded as controversial. So it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of Roberto Duran. A lot of people are. So be it. It is what it is. And the same thing goes for Carlos Monzon, by the way. But, people might put it down to prejudice. I really don't care. I'm just saying it as it is. But let's read about this. And here's another thing. I might say that I like Wilfred Benitez. Understand this. I'm not a big fan of Wilfred Benitez because if I'm not mistaken, Wilfred Benitez, so they say, he was born in the Bronx. And the guy could hardly speak fucking English. He was still speaking like somebody who came off a banana boat from Puerto Rico or wherever the hell he's supposed to be from. He's afraid of me. That's when he was talking about Sugar Ray Leonard. So he was one of those black Latinos who refused to speak English. And I don't fuck with that, especially if you're an American. That being said, moving on, let's read what it says here. This was put up by Boxing Legacy on this day in boxing. It says, Wilfredo El Radar Benitez defeated Roberto Hansa Stone Duran to retain his WBC World Light Middleweight title on this day, January 30th in 1982. Benitez was making the second defense of his belt and was awarded the unanimous decision victory by scores of 143, 142, 145, 141, 144, 141 after 15 rounds of action. The scorecards perhaps failed to reflect the dominance of Benitez, who, despite being a defensive genius in the ring, decided to fight Duran at his own game in a toe-to-toe scrap. This victory over Duran proved to be a last great performance in the ring by the brilliant Benitez, who would see his career go into a downward spiral following the contest. Duran, one of the greatest lightweights to ever lace up gloves, had enjoyed many of his great successes below the light middleweight limit. Nevertheless, Hansa Stone was able to register further victories at world level following the defeat to Benitez. Duran defeated David Moore for the WBA World Light Middleweight title in 1983 before stunning Iran Barkley in a classic for the World Middleweight title in 1989. I suppose that sort of erased a great deal of respect that people had for Iran Barkley. The fact that Duran moved up and beat him. And I think Iran Barkley prior to that had actually beaten Thomas Hearns. So it is what it is. But as I say, it kind of made interesting. It gave boxing an interesting history that anybody could beat anybody, not like we have today. But that being said, I appreciate the fact that Wilfredo Benitez beat Roberto Duran, beat him comprehensively, and Duran couldn't handle it. Well, it seems like somebody's a super fan of Terence Crawford. He's written GOAT, best boxer in the world, certified problem, home state hero. Okay, now I get it. He's from Omaha, Nebraska, I take it. Made a little graphic for all of the above. King of my city, yep. The 40-ounce GOAT. Number 1 pound for pound, 28 KOs, 3 times WBO. Who next? Bud, 37-0. Alright. Well, he's got some support out there, I take it. But that's support from his home state, so I see this post as a strange turn of events, and I'll tell you why. Here we have Campbell Hatton. Now, Campbell Hatton happens to be the son of Ricky Hatton. Those of you who know about Ricky Hatton know that he has quite a large following in England. Well, he used to, in any case, when he was fighting. But his son, who looks like him, recently signed for Matchroom. Now, Ricky Hatton is linked. Ricky Hatton, Campbell Hatton's father, is linked to Tyson Fury. As a matter of fact, he got smeared by the conspiracy that was being sold and passed around in regards to the first fight, because some Deontay Wilder fans believe that he aided and abetted Tyson Fury to cheat by pulling his glove down in some singular motion that he did that could be interpreted as wiping the glove, or, well, to the Deontay Wilder fan, pulling a glove down so that he could hit Deontay Wilder with a knuckle. But my argument is that if you see the motion of the hand, if it was that easy to sort of pull the glove down, then I doubt very much he would need Ricky Hatton's help at all, because it wasn't a tug. It was just a wave of the hand over a glove, and that was enough. But if you're looking for a problem, I suppose you'll find it. That's by the by. Going back to Campbell Hatton, the reason why I'm talking about Ricky Hatton is because he's Campbell Hatton's father, and Ricky Hatton is linked to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is going to be fighting Anthony Joshua. And it so happens that not only has Campbell Hatton signed for Matchroom with Eddie Hearn, and there was a launch recently, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, could be longer, could be shorter, I don't know. I think it could be longer than that. He's also signed a management deal with Anthony Joshua's 258 management. And Anthony Joshua's posted there saying, "We'll do everything to support your dream," while Campbell Hatton himself posts the fact that he signed with 258 as a proud to have signed with 258 management, and Soapbox London massive year ahead. Now, I would have thought that Campbell Hatton was signed with MTK Global, because that's where Tyson Fury is at. That's more or less where a lot of the fighters of his ilk are at. So I think he's kind of thinking out of the box here to simply sign a management deal with Anthony Joshua. It's a big leap of faith, or it could be bold, or it could be stupid. I don't know. Nonetheless, it's intriguing and interesting. It is. I hope it works out, because I'd hate to see the whole project fall apart. We don't know that much about what Campbell Hatton can actually do anyway, but it is what it is. Interesting nonetheless, I'd say.
The magazine Rappler reports that Manny Pacquiao lost his throne without fighting as the WBA decided to strip his super welterweight title due to inactivity. Using the term throne is a bit flattering, considering the state of the welterweight division at present and the controversy and confusion that has always surrounded the use of the title super champion by the WBA. I fear that Ugas is about to experience the full weight and pressure of the Errol Spence fanboy league. And it will be rather miserable for Ugas, who tends to get over emotional on social media, for two main reasons. Firstly, as a subtext, let's not forget that Pacquiao fans will be a bit bitter over Pacquiao being stripped, and the belt landing on the PBC side of the street, but regardless of the circumstances, Ugas will still be viewed as another guy who has been gifted a belt. Besides, it's prudent to remember, the WBA didn't actually totally strip Pacquiao with no recourse nor claim to the belt. They pushed him into what they call recess, a sort of sanctioning body purgatory that still allows them to reach out for sanctioning fees when the time is right. Secondly, even though Spence fans are confident in their man Errol Spence, Ugas isn't Danny Garcia nor Sean Porter. His Cuban style is completely wrong for Spence, and I'd wager post-Ferrari accident Spence will lose against Ugas, in a clear and fair boxing match. As more Spence fans get to realize what's at stake, they'll attack Ugas relentlessly while Spence delays the fight till God knows when.
Yeah, so the WBA apparently has elevated Dennis Ugas to super champion. He's very proud and chuffed of it. He was chuffed up being a regular champion, so now that they've made him super champion, God knows what. He's expressed it here in any case. What they've done is they've made Manny Pacquiao champion in recess. I think that might have something to do with this rumor or whatever. I don't know. I really and sincerely hope it's not because of the possibility of him fighting Ryan Garcia, but I don't know. He's mentioned something about it here, but because I haven't read it, he says, "Thank God my agent, my team, family and fans, today is a great day for me. Thanks to the WBA for raising me to super champion and doing what is best for the sport. Manny Pacquiao is a legend and he will always be the champion. His intention was McGregor and now Ryan, but you cannot." Okay, let's continue. You cannot what? Because it seems like it's a long thing. You cannot something behind your history. Behind your history, hijack a championship. This gives fans a chance to see a great unification fight at 147 pounds. Yeah, that's true. Because right now, since he's with PBC, and now that he's a WBA super champion, it's just a matter of time before they start talking about a unification with one and only Errol Spence, where all roads seem to lead to, if it is in fact a PBC fighter of any consequence, unless of course he constitutes a threat. And let's keep it real though, at the moment he might constitute a threat to he might constitute something of a threat to Errol Spence, but we can have that discussion later if it does happen. I think they might delay that fight until Errol Spence gets sharper and faster, if it's possible. That being said, he says, "I don't want this position for easy fights. My team has my consent for my next fight to fight Pacquiao if he wants to show who is the true WBA champion or another. In your dreams, you're not getting a Pacquiao fight." Seriously. You know what I mean? But hey, congratulations nonetheless. So where were we? Of the champions for a great unification fight, I am a warrior, committed to my career and to my fans who have fought and earned every. Look, God, he does waffle on. That's the thing about Dennis Ugas. He's way too fucking emotional for me. Oh God, oh thank God, oh I came from Cuba, I never saw my mother in 9 years, I couldn't watch TV. It just goes on and on and on. But I gotta be honest though, Al Heyman taking care of that kid though in Miami. Always dressed in white. He looks great.